Jason Williams. Jason Williams, known as White Chocolate, was a showman on the court. His passing was full of flair. No-look passes, behind-the-back dishes, and fancy bounce passes. He averaged many assists, but also turned the ball over frequently because he took risks. His dribbling was more like a circus act, full of spins and crossovers. Scoring wasn't consistent for him, and his shooting percentages were low, but he made basketball fun to watch. Defensively, he gambled for steals, but wasn't always reliable. Williams was unpredictable and exciting, sometimes messy, but always entertaining. Kyle Anderson. Kyle Anderson moves at a pace unlike any other NBA player. Nicknamed Slow-Mo, he seems to float across the court, almost like he's underwater. At 6'9", he doesn't rely on speed or explosive moves, but uses hesitation dribbles and clever footwork to confuse defenders. He doesn't score a lot or shoot many threes, but he impacts games in many small ways. Rebounds, passes, smart defense. His style looks slow and old-fashioned, but it works. Coaches appreciate how he plays, with patience and intelligence. Anderson may look out of place in today's fast NBA, but he finds ways to help his team win quietly. Tony Allen. Tony Allen earned the nickname Grindfather because of his unique way of playing defense. Offensively, he was almost invisible, rarely shooting threes, and not much of a playmaker. His shots from long range were so uncommon that opponents often dared him to shoot. But on defense, Tony was a nightmare. He had a knack for stealing the ball, averaging over 1 steal per game for his career, and sometimes even more in short bursts. He never needed to score much because his relentless defense frustrated opponents and helped his team win. His style was unusual, awkward shooting, little passing, but he changed games just by locking down other players. Teams built systems to protect his offensive weaknesses because his defense was so valuable. Tony Allen played differently than most, but that difference made him special. And Shawn Marion. Nicknamed The Matrix, Shawn Marion's game looked strange, but was effective. His shooting form was low and odd, yet he shot well enough to help his team. What stood out was his ability to guard every position, from quick guards to big centers. Marion was a threat, scoring mostly near the basket and in fast breaks. On defense, he averaged steals and blocks at a high rate for a wing player. His weird style confused opponents and made him a valuable, versatile weapon. Tony Snell. Tony Snell doesn't do much with the ball, taking only a few shots each game. Yet in 2021, he made history by shooting over 50% from the field and nearly 57% from three-point range, an incredible feat for a player with low attempts. His shot selection was simple, mostly catch-and-shoot threes, and he rarely dribbled or created offense. Defensively, Snell was solid, using his length to contest shots and stay in front. He doesn't fill the stat sheet, but his accuracy forces defenses to pay attention. He showed that sometimes making every shot count is more important than taking many. PJ Tucker. Though only about 6'5", PJ Tucker plays like a much bigger player. His long arms and tough attitude let him guard big men and battle for rebounds. Offensively, he takes few shots, mainly three-pointers, hitting just enough to keep defenders honest. Defensively, Tucker is a pest who throws his body around and refuses to back down. He plays with grit and determination that teams trust, especially in important moments. Tucker proves size doesn't always matter when heart and toughness are involved. Jaren Jackson Jr. stands out for his shot blocking and defense. He can guard multiple positions and uses his length and timing to block shots and disrupt offenses. Offensively, he surprises with his ability to shoot threes and score over 20 points a game, mostly without going inside the paint. His style mixes defense with floor spacing, making him a modern, unusual big man. Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is a 6'10" guard who can pass and defend like few others. He averages many assists and handles the ball well for someone his size. The weird part? He rarely shoots from outside and struggles with scoring. Despite that, his defense is top-notch, guarding every position and making life hard for opponents. Simmons' game is a mix of great passing and defense with limited scoring, making him one of the NBA's strangest talents. Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman made a career out of rebounding and defense. Standing 6'7", he led the league in rebounds for years, despite being shorter than many opponents. Rodman used smarts, hustle, and toughness to outwork taller players. His defense was so good, he earned Defensive Player of the Year awards multiple times. Offensively, Rodman barely scored, but his value came from defense and rebounds, helping his teams win multiple championships. Draymond Green. Draymond Green is known for his fiery attitude and unique role. At 6'6", He often plays center, but passes like a point guard. He's an elite defender who can guard all 5 positions and a smart playmaker, averaging more assists than many guards. Though he doesn't shoot well, his energy, communication, and defensive presence make him vital to his team's success. Nikola Jokić. Nikola Jokić moves slowly but thinks fast. As a center, he has amazing passing skills, averaging many assists per game. He scores mostly with soft shots and clever moves, not flashy dunks. Defensively, he's smart and sneaky, contesting shots and grabbing rebounds while quickly starting fast breaks. Jokić breaks all the rules for a big man, yet he's one of the best in the league. Josh Hart. Josh Hart may be only 6'4", but he rebounds like a power forward. He fights for every loose ball, crashes the boards, and never stops moving. He doesn't score much, but makes up for it with energy and effort. Coaches trust him because he brings toughness and creates extra chances on both ends. Hart's style fits perfectly on teams that need scrappy, hard-working players. Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama is a 7'4" giant with skills that defy his size. Unlike most tall players who stay near the basket, he moves like a guard, dribbling and shooting from distance. He blocks shots, defends the perimeter, and scores in many ways. Wembanyama is one of the most unique players ever, blending height with guard-like ability. Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace wasn't the tallest center at 6'9", but he dominated with defense and rebounding. He didn't score much, but he protected the paint, grabbed boards, and made opponents miserable. Wallace won multiple Defensive Player of the Year awards and helped his teams win championships with sheer toughness. Cameron Payne. Cameron Payne's game is a mix of flashes of brilliance and unpredictability. Sometimes he makes amazing plays, other times he's careless with the ball. That inconsistency makes him hard to predict, but when he's good, he's very hard to stop. Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson was a 6'9" point guard who changed how the game is played. He could do everything: pass like a wizard, rebound, score when needed, and play any position on the floor. His size and skills helped him lead his team to 5 titles and earn 3 MVP awards. Joakim Noah. Joakim Noah wasn't known for scoring, but his defense was fierce.
His energy, hustle, and smart passing made him a key part of his teams. Though his shot was odd and unreliable, his defensive leadership earned him honors and respect. Reggie Evans was all about hustle and physicality. At 6'8", he outworked many taller players to grab rebounds. He wasn't a scorer and barely shot threes, but his rebounding and toughness made him valuable to his teams. Taurean Prince. Taurean Prince's height and wingspan allow him to guard many positions.
He's not flashy, but plays smart, efficient basketball, making few mistakes and helping his team quietly. Nerlens Noel.
Nerlens Noel's defense is his calling card. With a 7'4" wingspan, he blocks shots and steals balls like no other. Offensively, he struggles with ball control and shooting, but his defensive impact is undeniable. Evan Turner. Evan Turner filled many roles on the court, but never stood out in any. He had decent passing and rebounding, but lacked scoring and shooting efficiency. His career was steady, doing a bit of everything, without shine. Muggsy Bogues. At 5'3", Muggsy Bogues was the shortest NBA player ever, but had the speed and smarts to compete. He averaged nearly 8 assists and over a steal per game, leading his team for years despite his small size. Reggie Bullock. Reggie Bullock shoots well from 3, but struggles with consistency. He plays solid defense and fits well as a role player, reliable but not a star. Lance Stephenson. Lance Stephenson brought showmanship to the NBA. Known for wild passes, odd moves, and on-cut antics, he stood out. Though not always effective, his unpredictability threw off opponents and made games interesting. Julius Randle. Julius Randle combines strength with surprising agility. His game can be inconsistent. He mixes powerful drives with odd shot choices, but his ability to score keeps defenses. Chuck Hayes. At 6'6", Chuck Hayes played center in the NBA, using his strength and intelligence to guard much taller players. He wasn't flashy, but was very effective on defense and on the boards. DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan doesn't rely on three-point shooting, but owns the mid-range game. He scores tough shots consistently and is a reliable offensive option, especially in clutch moments. Andre Miller. Andre Miller wasn't fast or flashy, but was extremely smart. His timing, footwork, and passing made him a steady player for 17 years. He avoided three-pointers and thrived with a controlled, precise style. LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball plays with flair, throwing no-look passes and full-court lasers. His shot mechanics are unusual but effective, and he scores well. Defensively, he's still learning, but has star potential thanks to his creativity. Steve Novak. Steve Novak's entire game was about one thing: hitting threes. He shot over 40% from deep in his career and could light up the scoreboard when hot. Other than shooting, he contributed little, but he did his job perfectly. If you enjoyed learning about these unusual players, hit subscribe for more basketball stories. Coming soon.